To be or not to be? That is the question. Actually, the question today is how to say to be in Spanish. There are two forms of the verb to be in Spanish. One is ser, which we'll learn in this lesson, and the other is estar, which we'll learn in another lesson. The verb ser tends to be used more with permanent characteristics, like the description of your physical appearance, your personality, or nationality, while estar tends to be used more with temporary conditions, like how you feel today or your location. The verb ser is an irregular verb. Let's learn the forms of the verb ser. We're going to break it down by looking at one form of the verb ser at a time. First, the yo form. Soy is the form of to be, or ser, that is associated with yo, or I in Spanish. Basically, it translates as I am. In Spanish, it's not always necessary to use the subject pronoun. You can say soy by itself for I am. You just add the yo if you want to emphasize I, like I am the teacher. Soy la maestra. Yo soy la maestra. The form of ser that is associated with tú is eres. Basically, it translates as you are. Remember that tú is the informal form of you that you would use, for example, when you're talking to a friend. Like with soy, you don't necessarily need to include the subject pronoun tú. It's obvious that we're talking about tú, or you, with the verb eres. You just add it if you want to emphasize the person, tú in this case, like you are a student. Eres un estudiante. Tú eres un estudiante. The next one is es, which is associated with usted, él, and ella. Es can be translated as are or is. Es can refer to you, he, or she. If it's not clear from the context who we're talking about, you may want to include a subject pronoun. For example, él es el doctor. Or you could include the name itself, like Dr. Garcia es el doctor. The form associated with nosotros or nosotras is somos. It translates as we are. Again, it's obvious that we're talking about nosotros with the form somos, so we don't necessarily have to include the subject pronoun. We add it if we want to emphasize the person. Somos estudiantes. Nosotros somos estudiantes. Vosotros is a form that's only used in Spain, so we won't get into it too much. It's an informal plural form that you would use, for example, with a group of your friends. The form of to be that is associated with vosotros is sois. In other Spanish-speaking countries, the plural form of you in both formal and informal situations is ustedes. The form of ser associated with ustedes, ellos, and ellas is son. It translates as you are or they are. Again, you don't necessarily have to include the subject pronoun unless it's not clear from the context who you're talking about, or if you want to emphasize the person. Son estudiantes. Ellos son estudiantes. So those are the forms of the verb ser. Now let's practice. Practice responses can be written in the comment section below. Practice. Write a few sentences with forms of the verb ser in the comment section below. Remember that the verb ser is used mostly with permanent characteristics like physical appearance, personality, or nationality, not temporary conditions. Examples: Mi hermano es alto. My brother is tall. Tall is a permanent physical characteristic, so we use ser. Mi amiga es tímida. My friend is shy. Personality characteristics are also considered to be more or less permanent characteristics, and therefore we use ser. Soy americana is I am American. Nationality is a more or less permanent characteristic. Mi papá es contador. My dad is an accountant. Profession is also considered to be a more or less permanent characteristic. If you can't type accents with your device, don't worry about it. Just write the words without them for now. Follow the link in the description of this video to visit our lesson page and practice more with the verb ser. Also, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our YouTube channel to find out when we make new videos.